Hey, it's Paul Ingram with College Center. In today's video, I want to answer a question that I've only answered in the comments, but going through my video catalog, I can't believe I have not made an actual video on this because I get this question a lot. So we're going to take care of this right now once and for all. Question I get a lot is, what is the correct length staff for Filipino martial arts? So hit the like button, make sure to subscribe to the College Center YouTube channel, and let's get this question answered once and for all. Okay, so I have 4 different staffs here for some different examples in length of staff. Now, when it comes to Filipino martial arts, the length of staff, the correct answer is anything. Any length is really correct. Because we train with all different lengths of staves, and it's really kind of more of a personal preference when it comes to the Filipino martial arts. Just like the length of sticks or the length or shape of bolo or blade or knives, in Filipino martial arts it really comes down to a personal preference. That's just kind of the way that the tradition of Filipino martial arts of Kali, Arnis, and Escrima has been really this for all of these generations. However, when it comes to the staff, there's 2 categories of staff, just like there's kind of 2 categories of spear. And when we look at the staff is one of the pole arms. The 3 main pole arms of Filipino martial arts is the staff or the bangkao, the spear or the sibat, or the oar, the dula, which would be like, the oar for paddling a boat. So let's kind of break down what classifies a short staff and what classifies a long staff in Kali or Filipino martial arts. All right, first up is the short staff. Now, when we talk about the pole arms and we talk about the short staff, this covers the short staff, the short spear, and the short oar. So all of these lengths work for all 3 categories of the traditional pole arms. So when it comes to the short staff, the measurement is the floor to about plexus height. So if this was the spear, this would be the tip of the spear would be around plexus height. And this is the short staff. Now, we could use this in the double end fighting method, especially when you're in tight, close or short range, corto range. But it's mostly primarily used in the single end fighting method here. Again, if this is the spear, there's going to be a lot of thrusting, a lot of poking, even with the staff, but we can still smash or cut with the spear as well. Okay, so this is the typical measurement. Now, it can still fluctuate a little bit between the hip, between the plexus. I've seen some where they kind of come up to the shoulder, but typically on the short staff, it's going to be below the head or below the chin. So a good measurement, a kind of happy place is floor to plexus. Now, when it comes to the long staff, the long bangkao, there's a lot of leeway here, and it really is dependent on 2 factors: either the system or style that you are training in, or your own personal preference. So that's kind of like an override. But typically, what you're going to see for the long staff is you're going to see something that is floor to about earlobe or temple height. You'll see lengths that are floor to about top of your head, so your full height. So if you're 6 foot, you'll have a 6 foot staff. If you're 5'2", then you'll have a 5'2" staff. If you are 7 foot tall, then you'd have a 7 foot staff. But another is that you want a staff taller than you. And this could be several inches taller than you, a foot taller than you. And when you start getting into like the long spear, this would be at least a foot to 2 feet taller than you. So if you were 6 foot, you'd want either a 7 or 8 foot spear for the long spear. Short spear measures out the same as a short staff. It's about plexus, usually about plexus height. You can get away with the shoulder, it's just shorter than, lower than your chin. And then you have the long staff or the long spear. Same thing if this was the oar and stuff. You might have an oar that's, as tall as you or maybe a little bit taller. And then typically with the long staff, right, you have both. The double end fighting method is going to be a very prominent one, but you can also still utilize the single end staff fighting method as well. All right, so hopefully this video answers those questions. As far as the diameter goes, because that's the second most common question, as far as the diameter goes for what's the thickness of a rattan staff, you want something that you can hold comfortably in your hand. You don't want something that's too thin, that shifts a lot in your hand, that is just kind of feeling too weak and nimble. But you also don't want something that is too thick, that it takes a lot of effort to hold onto as well. So typically around an inch. You really don't go more than about 1.25 inches in diameter, but you really, around an inch I find for most people is a pretty good happy place for the diameter or the thickness of the staff. All right, so that's that. That answers the question once and for all, the proper length, the proper thickness for the staff when it comes to training in Filipino martial arts. If you want to learn the staff in a more step-by-step progressive type of training, head over to KaliCenter.com and join me inside of my online school. It starts off at just about $12.99 a month, or you can sign up for the whole year and get a yearly discount. We got a lot of great solo training videos and partner videos and all kinds of training that covers the staff, the spear, the different pole arms of Kali, plus all the other different areas of Filipino martial arts. So head over to KaliCenter.com and hopefully maybe I'll see you inside of our online school and community. Until next time, get out there, go train, go try out the staff, the bunkhow, and I'll see you guys back here next time.